Hi everyone, it's Violet at Inspired Lifestyles at Alfred's Point. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about magic. And when we talk about that, you know, we're not talking about the airy-fairy kind where I'm on my broomstick and I'm flying off and mixing potions, but I want to get down to the real magic of life, which is the energy source. And there's a lot of really exciting things coming up when we talk about that at the moment. We've got the new moon coming in this weekend, which we've talked about the power source moving us forward, and new moon energy, which for everyone this is a great time, intention setting, getting out into this energy field, into nature and moving us forward. We've got this month's particularly special because we've got the new moon and we've got the full moon. So we're going to have a double whammy of energy, new beginnings, and then you know, that kind of full circle completion again. So I really want to reinforce just in concept for everyone how powerful this month of September really is in a sense of forward motion energy. So we want to keep that in mind. And why I'm going back to the magic is I kind of like to come back to what it is, the principles that I practice, and going into that earth grounding, that revitalizing the energy zones. And there's some wonderful things. We tend to get lost in everything, but we have this magical source in just herbs, flowers, plants that bring us so much. And when we talk about protection and we talk about needing to protect ourselves, needing to get re-energized, there's so much available to us in nature. I mean, lavender, yeah, we all know lavender's relaxing. Did we also know that lavender has this immense psychic connection? We used to make dream pillows out of it. So lavender can be built into dreams. We've got things like basil, which is an incredible home protector herb. Things like this that are just simply sitting there in nature that we can be doing. St. John's wort, another great to give us strength, to give us courage. These herbs, so often we eat them, or we'll sprinkle mint and peppermint to have peppermint tea, great for digestion, great for healing, but also great for abundance, like my magic cinnamon that you sprinkle. You sprinkle some cinnamon on your coffee and things like this. All these herbs exist, and flowers exist, and they have magical properties. Which we're going into in part 3 in Earth Magic coming up on the 20th. So we're going to be really going into that and crafting some really beautiful home remedies and home useful things that we can get some power out of. And why I'm really leading into this is we've also got what in my culture we like to call a Samhain, which in the Celtic, that's your Halloween coming up. Why was this so critically important? Well, to the Celts, the beginning of the new year was actually the 1st of November. Everyone's got an idea that Halloween's an Americanized thing. It's actually European from that point of time. And why people used to celebrate this was it was the changing of the season for them there. They were coming out of the summer and they were going into the winter. And this was a very scary time back then. That was, you know, a time when it got darker, people got sicker, colds, flus, bugs, and people were very worried. So it was Halloween or All Hallows Eve, they used to gather and get together, and the Druids would come in and they would make a big bonfire and they would burn crops and animals and do a feasting sort of part. And it was to give themselves guidance, protection, and to ask for this energy to come in to guide them through the winter. And during this time, they believed that that kind of veil between us and other worlds and other power sources became thinner. And so you could actually really tap into positive messages and hope for you to move forward through the year. So we're really hitting this, what I like to call, even though we're in opposite seasons, we're very much in the same way using September to move forward energy, moving in, and then we're going to come to this October period, and in the same way, this is this moving, asking for guidance, bringing in the new year, getting the new year's energy moving. So September is moving us forward. We will all be celebrating Samhain or Halloween together, if you like. Inspired's going to hold their very own thinning of the veil evening, where we get to tune into those positive messages and guidance going forward and have a bit of a celebration, which I'm coming to. So everyone who's been watching, I really would love the opportunity to see you all there and come up and say hi, and we can definitely talk about lots of the Earth's energy and magic that goes on. So today I've kind of gone into this Celtic wisdom that really does exist in herbs and in plants that can really offer you so much. I mean, we all know that a rose is love, but a rose really, the power is in a rose, really does represent the heart. The same way that we talk about rose quartz representing that heart chakra, literally the roses from your garden represent the very same energy, the very same love that you need to give yourself, the very same love that you're looking for. And when we put that into a bath, or we put that into an intention, we set that on our intention plate, we are very much looking back to the true source of ourselves in nature that brings us these things. Everything you are looking for has a representation in nature, in the herbs, in the garden, in the plants. Grinding up some of that basil and taking it with you when you're going into an important meeting, or say you've got a job interview. This source of that was imbued with that sort of power to protect and move us forward, to bring us the gain. Cinnamon sprinkled around and to increase things, increase desire, increase abundance. And a lot of your special candles today, when we make really good candles that have intention, they actually have these oils and they have these things put into them to help you bring in those magical elements of intention. When we're cooking is not just the act of preparing food, obviously for your nutrition and because we like it, but when we're stirring in those ingredients, that very stirring process is the same concept of binding together your own piece of magic. And the food that you put in, everything has an element to what you're doing. So I've put in our usual books, and because Halloween is so important to me as that ritual, I've included a lot today, going back to our old laws, and a little bit of myth and fantasy, and I've put in some of our beautiful dragons here today. I've also put in, to represent the rose and the idea in nature that everything exists, as I've put in some of our beautiful intention trees. This one is the rose quartz, but they do come in the carnelian and different elements for you. And I love these because they go back to the very foundation of all things, which is trees for me. Trees are an internal source of knowledge, and every time we look at that tree, we're literally looking at something that reaches right down below us into the earth, and grounding and going deeper beyond the earth. And then it kind of, the trunk of the tree is here and now, which represents us, and then the very branches stretch out into the skies, to the heavens. So there's such an elemental flow there within a tree. And then you've got your very heavenly messengers of the birds flying in and landing in these branches. So a tree is an absolute magical being to me. and when you actually learn that trees have their own language in that root system, and they're communicating and feeding each other, it's quite phenomenal. So I've used the little money trees here because for intention work, I think they're beautiful to take our mind to the nature of things. And when they have the crystal elements in them like this, we are also got that grounding earth element. I've gone here, because of Samhain, I've used some black obsidian wands, and I've also put in the black tourmaline. Why I've done this is because during this time people were really looking also for guidance, but they were looking for protection. They were looking to make sure that their home, that their lives, that their house, everything was safe. And there's also that element in both of these stones, especially the obsidian, is the element of the psychic connection, the spiritual world, this information coming in, and it has this divine protection elements in these stones. So I've included them because I'm using them as that reflective period coming up in October, and for me they're very much the stones of that time. October, Halloween, so when it's very much in that we're looking for the protection, the guidance into our new year, moving forward in November. So I've put them in, and I've also put in, because I just love them, our Celtic tree oracle as well, going into that very history that I'm talking about here with the trees. And they just have some incredible images of the very divine beings. You'll also see, because I'm into the sacred geometry and Fibonacci sequence, I've put together just what I love to say is a keepsake box, and I have discussed them with you before. Look at me try and open it. Red is also a beautiful color for abundance, so candle abundance, and also when we want to put things in here to attract abundance, so it's got this lovely red. Sacred geometry is literally everything that exists, and it's in everything, and your bees, your beehives, your flowers, your everything. It's literally the very fabric of the earth has got these constructs. So I've put a little keepsake box because, you know, I feel about putting things with messages and containing them and being able to sort of build that intention process. And for some people it does really work better in keepsake boxes other than candle plates. So this one's beautiful with sacred geometry, and I have put, because a few of the students in my classes have moved on to these, so the Merkaba, which is Metatron's song, and we've been talking about how we activate these and how we program these. So we do have them in store for anyone who's looking to really tune in as well. Also running into, like we were discussing, sacred geometry. So a lot of things coming up for us at Inspired Lifestyle. If you haven't booked for the Halloween party, please jump on and do so, because we are taking a lot of bookings here in store, and I really would love for everyone to come and be part of something fun, and we'll all be there. All the psychics team is coming down, and we're all going to be mingling in and saying hello, and we've got some great trick or treats for you all. So do jump in so we get an opportunity to meet you, and you'll be there to ask questions. We're also going to have two amazing platform psychics on the evening, really reaching through that veil that night. So lots and lots of fun, and I will be talking further in depth about what this ritual meant and some of the little stories, some of the spooky little stories behind the druids and things that happened during this time. So jump on and do that. Earth Intention Magic, to past students and anyone wanting to join in and start this process and this journey with us, it's on the 20th of this month, and jump on, book in. New faces are welcome, and all my returning students also, of course, that you've already let us know. So do jump in. We've got some fun activities coming up here at Inspired Lifestyle, and we'll be talking more about sacred geometry over the next few weeks and different things you can look for. Okay guys, thank you. Bye.